I mean, hey, Florida is, it's a lot of eyes are on Florida. And
Yes.
so with our aging population and we have a lot of snowbirds, and we have a lot of people now that have decided to stay down here and not go back up north, which, hey, as much as regular residents.
Stand by, John. I got a call coming in.
Okay.
WSTU.
One is.
Oh, okay, buddy. Stand by. We'll put you on the phone. Stand by. All right. So we've got Todd is on the phone, and
wonderful.
Yeah. So I don't know if you'll be able to hear him, because I know that I'm connected to you through the laptop board, but I don't know if the audio input works the same way. So Todd, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How about John? Can you hear John?
Can you hear me? No.
I can hear him, yes.
You can hear John. Okay, delightful. Okay.
Yes.
I can kind of hear him.
Okay, you can kind of hear him? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can join us. Where is he at? He can, we should be a little bit past this, folks, but
right.
Next week we'll be fine.
Well, yeah, we'll try to fine tune it a little bit better. So anyways, Todd, we were just kind of going over some of the situations that we're into right now, and talking about the government in Florida kind of loosening the reins on tight, on as tight as it was, and allowing for some more commerce to begin. How are things over?
I'm gonna say something about that.
Okay.
And what puts a big smile on my face for Martin County, Florida, as well as the
Is
state
he going
of
to call
Florida.
in on the Zoom? I hope.
No, we'll go ahead.
What a fabulous job, both the state, the county, and at the local level.
I can't hear him.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
No, he can't hear you. But you know what? Can you call back and connect on Zoom? Do you know? Have you? Because I think John sent you a Zoom invite, and then
hold on a minute. Let me look.
Okay.
Let me look here.
All right. So this is live radio. So this is the magic of radio. This is what Greg Wyatt always talks about when we have these.
Yep. Let me look here. I'm looking here for Zoom. I'm on the air.
1910, and here we are in Potsdam.
We still have the transmitter is not not that much different than it was when the radio station first. With all the technology, it all goes into a similar, transmitter to get that 1450 frequency. It's that technology hasn't changed. So
stay tuned. I'm going to connect on Zoom.
Okay. All right.
I'll hang up and then I'll do on Zoom.
Perfect. All right, buddy.
Okay.
Stand
by.
by. All right. Thank you. All right. So good.
Who's zooming who, right?
So Todd has just left the phone line. He's going to connect on Zoom. That way we can have a clear three-way conversation.
That'll be very fair to our listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging in there with us.
So John, what are they doing over at European Kitchen and Bath as far as for the customer safety? What are you folks doing?
Again, we have signs on the door, and it's kind of fun when people come up. The door is locked, and so if you called ahead to tell us you're coming to pick up some products, we have those ready. If you're calling if you have called us to set up an appointment to come in and look at now you're.
Whoops! Stand by.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, he sent a separate one. All right. Okay. Let me forward that to you, and then you could perhaps connect on that. Let me try that. Okay, you got it. All right. All right. So through the magic of radio, we're going to.
Reminds me of Lily Tomlin.
Yes. All right. So, okay. So, Crown Car Care at Gmail.
There it says manage participants 3. Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so Todd called and he said that that particular meeting, he said he couldn't connect on it. So I forwarded him the Zoom meeting. So you should,
Admit.
because you initiated the meeting.
Yeah, I just admitted him. Here he comes. There he
Okay.
is.
All right.
Hey, Chief.
Hello there.
Hey, look at that. How cool is that?
We're connected, baby.
We are connected. I love it.
Super. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
very, very well, as a matter of fact. Very good
Frank's
connection.
getting so many.
Well, that's great.
Frank's
It's
getting so many calls
technology.
now. Yeah, they're all
This is-
calling in now that you're here, Todd.
Well, so what I wanted to say was,
yes.
and I always have to tip my hat to the state of Florida, because the state of Florida, really, you didn't hear much about them in the news on this whole situation we were in, but silently behind the scenes, our great governor, DeSantis, took the reins and handled this thing in a professional way that enabled businesses to reopen and enabled the people of the state of Florida to really not have the fear mongering that was going on in the rest of the country. And we just took it like adults and handled the situation. And that was what I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest here in the state of Florida.
You said that very well, because that's exactly
Very
what
articulate. Yeah.
And he's a cool guy. I mean, he's common sense, and he's utilizing his people around him who are, have the answers, and and he's admitted where they had their issues with the unemployment thing and blah blah blah.
Absolutely.
Blah, blah. So good. Right?
And then in part two to my comment is, I've noticed here in Martin County, because that's really all I can see and feel and know, is tip the hat to all the residents and all the businesses here in Martin County, because I've noticed they've all been doing the right thing. When businesses felt that it was the right time to open, once they were given the green light, they did. If they didn't feel like it wasn't appropriate to open, they didn't. So really, we had adult responsibility, professional responsibility, and business responsibility that all work together and have enabled really Martin County for me to be a picture perfect example of how you should open up a community after such an event like this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm totally with you on that. And, I'm feeling it's the same way with, I have my other store is up in Indian River County, and very similar to that too. And the communication coming out from the, whether it's the chambers or the, other groups, even when I go up there every week and see what's going on in the in the stores around us. Absolutely. So great point. Great way to point that out, Todd.
Yeah. And I would have to say, remember, government is there to provide boundaries, rules, but really it's up to the players that are in the field. And that's us, the businesses, the people, the population of the communities that are really the ones that is where it counts.
Right. It's government of the people.
Right. Heavy reliance on mother hen type scenario to take care of everybody never works.
No.
It may work in the short term, but it never works in the long term. And no one's even comfortable with such a situation.
Right.
And I've been very comfortable with this. I opened my business at Cove Road, Crown Car Care. We were closed for almost 2 months.
Wow.
And
tough.
I opened on Monday, and I felt like a dam broke loose. The pent up demand, the people just itching and begging to have their Crown Car Care fix.
Wow.
So to speak. And
Way to go, man.
Wow.
I don't even have time to tie my shoe during the day. I've been so busy and just serving the people. People come in. I have a lot of retired people that come to my Cove Road location over from Miles Grand, and they've been all just waiting and holding on and just couldn't wait to get in. And they have air conditioning situations. And a lot of people just came in to talk and just see us, which to me touched me, because it just shows that we're trying to do the right thing in the community and people know it.
Yeah, they want to make sure you guys were okay. Yes. And that's the thing that I've noticed too, that a lot of phone calls, a lot of neighbors connecting with neighbors, making sure we're all okay. And I think that's just a great testament to the community we live in.
Yep. And I'm only one very small example of what the great things that go on in our town and our county. I'm just a little guy. I'm the little guy that fixes cars. And if we add up all the sum of the little guys that fix cars and the guys that, have all the whether it be an electrician, a plumber, an air conditioning guy, all that adds up to the commerce of our community. And like I say, I'm just one small piece of it. And
Yep. Well,
humble as I am, I'm glad I can add what I do to it, and I do it every day.
Oh, that's great. Can I just interrupt for a regulation timeout? We've got to do about a 2-minute commercial, and then we'll be right back. So please stand by. How cool is that? Everything okay?
You clean your hand
Yes.
before you touch food.
Okay. I got hand sanitizer wipes
Where's
here.
the hand sanitizer?
Right. Wipes.
Yeah, before you
I
touch
touched it. I clean everything before.
the chair. Use that one.
Yes.
Before you sit,
Yes.
clean all the chair.
I wipe the handles, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I told you. People here.
Well, yeah.
Sixth foot. Where is the sixth foot?
Yeah.
There's only 1 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Very dangerous, right?
Well,
Is
I
that
know.
just 1 foot?
No, but let's see over there.
Yes, it's just
That's
1
the
foot.
only microphone that is open is that one there.
Yeah.
It's the only one. Okay.
Yes, but how far from you? Just 1 foot. It's not 6 foot.
No, it's more than 1 foot.
Of course.
Hey, this is 1 foot.
Maybe 2 foot. But not 6 foot.
Okay.
6 foot is all the way to outside windows.
No.
Of course.
Okay. We're at 20 seconds. I have to come back. Okay.
from here, and I've got all but 2 back. Actually, one. Actually working.
All right, we're back. And Todd,
Yes, sir.
can you can't see this, but you remember this from the TV show? It's a theme song from Knight Rider.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kit. Okay, I put that up just for you, Todd. So, anyways, so I while we were on commercial break, my wife was kind enough to drop off dinner for me, so I have something to chew on. So, but I promise no chewing noises on the air. Okay. Whoops. All right. Wait a minute.
Show.
Yep. So there you
With
go.
Co-host John Campion, that is I, and Frank Downtown Mezapel.
Yeah, that's my new nickname, right?
This is our
Yes, sir.
It's our first time back on the air in what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, it's been seems like forever.
And we are distancing. We're all about 8 miles apart. About 3 from Frank. And we have this is our wonderful virtual guest is Todd Harris from Crown Car Care. And he's hanging out at your Cove Road store right now. Is that correct?
I'm at the store right now. Yes, sir.
Yep. And I'm in my little office, I call it my little soundproof booth where they send me when customers come in so I don't give the store away.
The hideaway. It's called a hideaway.
Hideaway. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Frank knows where to go when he comes to see me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Frank is manning the controls at WSTU 1450 Central downtown in beautiful downtown Stewart. So we're just glad to be back and hope that we have a few listeners as we gear up each week.
I have a nice story I could share with everybody. It regards one of our business members in our group. That's the Martin County Business Exchange. And I'll tell you, it involves Kim. Kim owns the prescription shop in downtown Stewart.
Yes.
And she had called me on the phone. It was probably about a weekend. And she said, Todd, is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything you need? And I thought that I was taken back because she reached out to me. I didn't call her. And there's two parts to this story, and one has to do with my family personally. But she asked me, she goes, Todd, is there anything you need with your business? Do you need gloves? Do you need toilet paper? Do you need paper towels? And I was like, yes, yes, and yes. And lo and behold, within 45 minutes to an hour of me speaking with her, she showed up personally at my shop in Palm City, a car, truck, or vehicle full of supplies, and she dropped them off and said, have a nice day.
Wow.
I thought that was remarkable. And it was remarkable because I never asked for it. I generally never ask for anything. I try to just take care of business myself.
Well, you're usually the giver, Todd.
Yep. And she gave to me, and I was taken back because she brought me a case of gloves, because we try to, when we work on cars, we try to go to the utmost precautions of sanitizing all the cars and the steering wheels, because as you know, we're touching the vehicles and it's at a personal level when you're driving them and moving them around the shop, and we have to be the safest we can be to prevent any type of situation from arising. And she really helped us out with that.
Well, that's marvelous. A good shout out to Kim Jones from the prescription shop.
And then the second shout out is again with her. She, my son has some prescriptions that he needs, and she's been right there for us the entire time for my son Max. And wow, what a great organization she has over there at the prescription shop. And I would say anybody that's listening to us that has any type of prescription needs or any type of medical needs, that she is the type of lady that will go far-reaching and out of the way to accommodate anybody. And it's not money motivated or anything like that. It's all about helping in community. And she's like that all the time. It has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with the pandemic. It has to do with what her business is, and she really has shined during this situation.
No, I agree. I
don't want to make you jealous, but one day she stopped by here, and of course our doors are locked, and I was on the phone. Everybody was on the phone or doing something. And I think one of our administrative people came out of the office and unlocked the door, and she brought us some of that. She made some homemade sanitizer, hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah.
And she dropped some bottles, and it is the sweetest smelling, best. Yeah. They were so nice. And she did the same thing like that, Todd. She just came and went and was gone.
Yeah.
And, I thought she was
the essence of Kim.
Yep, that's it. And so, those are the type of things that we all have to continue doing. We have new neighbors we didn't know we had, whether it's work-wise or personal. And, everybody out there it's just going to be the new normal, I hope. And people, doing the best they can. There are still a lot of uptight people and nervous people and stressed people, but it's up to us as the business community to, spread the cheer and know.
Absolutely. That, I can't tell you. My wife Tamara has been over at the Cove Road store, and she's been the whole day this week, every day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All she's been doing is driving, quote unquote, little old ladies back home to their apartments or condominiums, or people that are retired, or gentlemen, whoever they are, whether they're young people, old people, nurses, doctors, whatever they are.
Nice.
She's at the wheel, driving and running people around, taking them back home so we can get their cars taken care of, and then picking them up, of course, after it's done.
She's not asking them for their social security numbers, is she?
Well, I have to make an inquiry into that one.
I'm sorry, I had to shake everybody up out there.
I'm not sure. Very well could be. She's been saying that we were going to be getting a lot of stimulus checks. So
all right. It's kind of like the Uber a Crown affair, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's really cool, Todd. Very, very great story. Great story.
That is great.
Yeah.
And
it's a family-owned business, and that's family-owned mentality. You everybody pitches in and does what they can to benefit everybody involved. So it all works out.
That's what we do.
Well, the thing with Todd,
and I was going to say this too. This situation, I'm going to say, brought the best out of a lot of great people. But if you haven't done business with members of the Martin County Business Exchange, that's our old normal. What you get now is what people consider the new normal.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the way we are. And in times like this is where we really show and shine. But when we don't have situations like this, we're still the same way.
Yeah.
Nothing changes with the Martin County Business Exchange. We're always there to serve the public.
You know, there's 55, 60 members, and we're all small business, and it's all pretty much family owned. If very few are not, and there's a lot of husband-wife teams within that organization, and we care about our community and we care about our customers, and that is why we're here. And you know, when you've been in business, you've been there.
I've been in business 14 years.
14 years. We've 28 years, and you know, there's a reason for that, and hopefully,
it doesn't happen by accident.
It does not.
No,
it does not.
And if anyone doesn't know this story, I guess I would say I'm fairly new to the Martin County Business Exchange, but I was a wayward son with the Martin County Business Exchange and never really heard of it, never really known anything about it. And there was an event that I was at, and there was a fine gentleman that seemed to put his arm around me and corralled me into the Martin County Business Exchange. And it happens to be John right on the other end there who we're talking with. He was the gentleman who brought me into the fold, so to speak.
Wow.
Well, thank you.
Good
John
call.
himself.
Good call, John.
Right.
Yeah, well, you know, and the fact that the way Todd embraced his situation, and we were blessed to have you be part of it, and what a good friend you've become, and a good friend to all the members. And boy, do we know where to take our vehicles when they need fixed.
I know.
The guy is a genius, y'all. So whether
I don't know about that, but right.
Little or big, the diesel man, he's just everything. So amazing.
When any of us are confronted with something we don't know, it's how we find that answer to the we don't know that really makes us separates us from other folks.
Right.
And
it defines who we are.
Just about everybody here. Frank, John, you're the same way. Whatever it takes. In fact, I had gone to John's business over there at European Bath, which is on Monterey, and I believe you have another store in Vero Beach. And I had a problem with my toilet's not flushing all the way. And John turned me on to this toilet that will suck it'll flush a dozen golf balls if it needs to.
Yeah, you just won't get them back.
You won't get them back.
No, it's a one-way
now
trip.
It's the most popular spot in my house. So,
yeah, you don't even get to use it, do you, Todd?
No.
I love it.
No,
That's
it's
great.
And you know, we all know when a toilet has a problem, it ain't any fun.
No.
It becomes everybody's problem.
Yeah, so you know, the courtesy flushes get minimized with the Toto. If not limited.
Yeah. Well, in some situations, you could be doing 2 or 3.
Well, listen, hey, Trump said that one day. He says, "Yeah, you got toilets out there. You got to flush them 12 times." You know. Well, I don't like how he twitters everything, what he says. You almost want to say, be quiet. But, you know, that one, I really liked it.
Well, of course, yes. It hit home with you, right?
You got it.
Right. So
So
that's great.
It's all good. And you know, it's funny when you were talking about all the different people. It's always fun when you can tell people, I got a guy.
Yes.
I got a girl. I got a gal.
Mm-hmm.
And,
and it's solid. And it's a solid, you got somebody. I'm going to give I have one of my employees that had, who's worked for me for many years. His wife is pregnant, and they're trying to save every nickel they can. And their house air conditioner broke. And John Sharkey from Sharkey Air Conditioning, I gave him a call personally, and he personally called up my employee, Jordan Prince, good man, been with me for a long time. And he went out with his man out to his house. They diagnosed the situation, looked at it, and they realized that really it wasn't worth fixing. He needed a whole unit. Well, he dialed him in at the most fabulous price. He set him up with a financing program so there'd be no money down. He really, really stretched what I would consider the goodwill of even a friendship and took care of this man. And now he has an ice cold house with air conditioning, and it's all because of Sharkey Air Conditioning. Sharkey Air Conditioning.
And when I go home tonight, I will have a nice ice cold house, because last night I said to my wife, "Man, is it stuffy in here? Did you turn the thermostat up?" No. Then she says 2 hours later, "You know, it's 81 degrees." And I said, "Oh my gosh, we keep it at 78. So in the daytime." Anyway,
Yes.
I texted Kevin and said, "Please have Sonia call me in the morning," which is his young lady who's fantastic.
Yes.
And sure enough, she did. And you know what? They replaced my blower motor this evening while we're talking, and I can go home and thank God. So yes.
My hiccup on his first name is Kevin Sharkey. I said,
Kevin,
John.
You said
My
John.
hiccup on that one.
That's
It's
all right.
okay.
We knew who you meant. All right. Hey, so we're going to just step aside, gentlemen, and silence your microphone for about a couple of minutes. We will be right back.
And now,
You got it.
Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Nothing
up my sleeve.
Don't touch that dial. Stay tuned. The best is yet to come. A lot with you know who.
Good job, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Frank. Good job with you too. We can't see you, but Todd and I can see each other pretty good.
Yeah.
Really like.
He's got.
And
You got
Well, I can
tape
think
over his-
John's well read. He's got all kinds of books and interesting intellectual material sitting behind him. I don't know if that's a stage prop or is it real or
You know what the trick is? You see the top two rows of books.
yeah.
The company. Well, the top one is stuff we don't sell. The middle one is a mix, and then the third one down is the stuff I sell. So I had a rep sitting here one day. He goes, "Hey, how do I get on that third shelf?"
I like it. I like it. It's about placement. It's just like grocery stores.
Man,
Grocery stores. My father worked for Kraft Foods, and it was all about they would pay to have the best grocery placement. What's that beer from Milwaukee that I was telling you about?
Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow. People
Every
bring
morning at
empty
the mine, you
suitcases to
could
get
see
it out
him
of
arrive. He stood 6'6" and weighed 245.
All right.
Tall at the shoulder and narrow at the hip. And everybody
We've got-
knew you didn't give no
Racine,
lift to
Wisconsin.
Big John.
Yeah, man.
We got Big John here.
Yes. It is I.
Can you hear the
Big
audio?
Bad John.
No.
Me?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
hear?
I hear.
Jimmy
hear
Dean?
Everybody seemed to know where John
you got on
called
there?
home. He just drifted into town.
Can you hear that? Wait,
Kind of quiet.
wait a minute.
And if you spoke,
Can you guys hear that? I was playing the Jimmy Dean.
No.
No.
Wow. All right. I was
That was
hoping you
good.
could hear what was going on through the board because it was through the same laptop. So apparently not.
That's
Oh, all right.
Well, now we know that we just have to amuse ourselves.
Well,
So We will be, next week.
Yes.
We're hoping to get one of the board of directors on who can talk about, how they perceive what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about before how we have our breakfast every Wednesday morning at the Elks Club over there on Decatur. And of course, they're closed. And then we have been so lucky to be having our meals catered by Berry Fresh. And they had 3 stores, but they had to shut down this one in Stewart. They're on US 1 for a little while. And they will be back, but they have their Jupiter stores, their main store that's open. And I think they closed the St. Lucie store too, because the Jupiter store hops. Mitch, he and his dad own those. And, but, wonderful people. And we just want them to get, back on track.
Well, I'll tell you, from a selfish standpoint, they have the best bacon. All I want is my bacon. I need my bacon fix.
You have to fight Mark Breckville from.
I need my
bacon
fix.
At the MCBE breakfast, if you are a slightest bit tardy for the food line, and you are at the back of the line, there's a good chance that you may miss the bacon.
No bacon for you. No bacon for you.
So just bypass the yogurt and all the fresh fruit,
right?
And get down to the bacon.
Down to the bacon.
That's the problem. We start from the wrong end of the table.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, in the last couple of weeks, actually, before that we shut down, the bacon quantity started to do an increase. And I don't know who was behind it, but I got to tip my hat to them because the bacon was about half again as much. So it was great. More
Good.
bacon.
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 That's
Bacon.
good. Everything's
Bacon.
good.
Bacon strips.
You got it. So Frank, what have you been doing with yourself? You heard about us. I mean, you have your hands in a million stuff. You're the dude who runs, your title for downtown is.
I'm the executive director for Stewart Main Street.
See, so
and
Frank.
So tell us what's going on with Stewart Main Street. What kind of snippets can you fill us in on?
Well, I have been busy. Actually, learn how to put together an Excel spreadsheet. If that isn't exciting, I don't know what is. But,
it is.
But I tell you what, if you like looking at stats and information, and you want to coalesce data, and you need data in a hurry, and you call all the downtown merchants and let them tell you their story, and you start putting that together, that really helps to paint a picture so that the decision makers can make coherent decisions based upon the information that they have in front of them. So it was a wonderful exercise from that. I felt like it was truly a civic duty. And there hopefully good fruit will spring from those seeds. And but yeah, it's all about information and good information that the right people can use. And
well, you know what they say, Frank. The detail is in the data.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There you are.
And then how you present the data with those details is how it can be interpreted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And especially if you're in front of decision makers, you're in front of people that necessarily aren't entrenched or deep into what makes the data, then you can present that picture of the data and really get across what you're trying to get across in an understandable, definable, comprehensible way.
Right. And one of the big takeaways that we discovered after just doing about a third of over the 90 businesses that I've set out to contact, it was very clear that the ones that had a very strong media and internet presence were doing well. Not exceptional, but they were doing well and they weren't struggling. Whereas the ones that had very little or none were really finding a bit of an effort. And
like SEO, social.
Mm-hmm,
no, I can see that.
Mm-hmm, Facebook.
I get it.
Instagram and that sort of thing. So what we hope to do is start doing some media training for the downtown merchants. We'll be offering that through the Flagler. That is my fervent wish and hope So that's kind of where we're at on
that. Is
on
really, Frank, I would have never, ever, if I was in a think tank and I had a brainstorm of an idea, I would never, ever, just knowing how I think of that. And what a genius move that is.
Well, you know what's important about that though, too, Frank and Todd, is as we come out of this into the new normal, you have to think, okay, in what way do I have to reinvent myself to be out there? So at least they have their followers and their Facebook, all the people following them, and it's a really tight group of people and of the system. So that is the biggest thing that I'm sitting here thinking about. I have so many little things I'm working on right now that, we've had time to think about it, and my gosh, how do you compete against the internet? How do you compete against Amazon? How do you make sure that you're out there taking care of the customers, realize how important it is to deal with small business? Look at the success downtown,
right,
of where it was from back in the 80s, early 90s. And then what you see now, it's such a beautiful place, and it's so happening.
Right.
And just wait, we're only at the tip of the iceberg now, gentlemen. As the restaurants start to open back up and businesses start to open their doors and people start to go outdoors a little bit more, because it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Just a great delight. It's almost like when if you've ever lived in the North, I've lived in the Northeast as well as up in the Midwest up north. And I know what long, cold winters are. And when that snow starts to break and the ice, and you start to see the first little tidbits of plants poking through the snow.
Right. The birds chirping. Yep.
Yep. It's kind of like what's happening now. And then before you know it, it's going to be springtime and summer. And I mean that with quotes around it just as a metaphor. People will really, really appreciate what a wonderful, wonderful world that we live in here in Martin County, and especially downtown Staunton. I know, Frank, you're doing such a wonderful job at downtown Staunton. All you're doing is adding value. You're continually adding value to such a wonderful, wonderful place and a wonderful, wonderful organization with you being involved in the group that you are. And we all really have to say thank you to you for doing what you do.
Well, it's my pleasure. And, and we hope to open it up to the entire business community, not just to the downtown merchants, but right. I hope to have some professionals in there to do some media training. So I think it's going to just be a wonderful win for everybody.
That's why
I can't wait to get back involved with you, and maybe we can do some sponsorships at the Flagler Center and really liven the place up a little bit. And I'll put as much spirit and booty in as much as I can, and we'll make it better than it ever was.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, we're going to have to end it there. We want to thank you so much for being a part of today's MCBE show, where it's just good business. And I couldn't think of two better guests to have on for our return to service show at Martin County Business Exchange. Thanks very much, Todd Harris, John Campion, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys here next week, right here.
Yes, sir. Have a blessed day.
See you in the hood.
See you later, John. Take care.